Have you ever fantasized about having so much money that you could buy anything your heart desired? Having a life where driving an old beat-up car, sitting in traffic for hours each day, working 8 hours, and fighting traffic again to get home is no longer a necessity. Well, if you have millions or billions of dollars in your bank account, you would never have to go to work again. But you'd have to put in a lot of effort to get rich. But there's one thing weird about rich people. They look poor. Actually, wealthy people do not appear wealthy at first glance, and those with less money are the ones who tend to wear expensive clothing. There is a significant reason why millionaires and billionaires typically don't look wealthy. Stay tuned because in today's video, we'll be talking about the key reasons why millionaires appear broke, along with top 5 smart ways in which rich people spend their money. So, without any further delay, let's jump right into the video. Why millionaires look broke. Everything about the lives of the rich and famous seems perfect when you're sitting on your couch and reading about it online. 6 or 7 pairs of hands are at their disposal to ensure that they look and feel their best at every event they attend, and they often arrive in custom-tailored ensemble. Unfortunately, the way the rich dress and appear on the red carpet isn't always representative of their everyday attire. If we take a break from focusing on famous people and take a look at the other wealthy, the ones who don't live their lives in the spotlight will find a striking difference in the clothes they wear. The truly wealthy not only avoid flaunting their wealth through extravagant clothing, but they also tend to dress poorly. The mystery surrounds the why. People who become millionaires are just a different breed. Their viewpoint is different. They're displaying peculiar behavior. They have different budgets. There is a distinction between the two. Celebrities are portrayed inaccurately in the media. The author claims that the wealthy and famous are too savvy to waste on $1,000 suits and dresses, rather than waste money on clothes that will eventually be washed away, worn out, lost, or ripped. Why not put that money towards something more long-lasting, like a house or a business? To put it another way, that's the mentality of the wealthy. They'd rather consider long-term gains than quick fixes. While a $1,000 suit would certainly make a strong impression, a simple tuxedo can be purchased for under $100 and still looks and feels great. Why spend thousands of dollars on a designer label or more expensive fabric if the garment is not damaged and still adheres to proper business attire standards? During one episode of Modern Family, Jay, the wealthy grandpa, was criticized for his lack of style. Jay rarely left the house in anything but sweatpants and nerd glasses, in stark contrast to his young, attractive wife. He was filthy rich, to be sure, but he didn't give a damn about his appearance. Whatever he wanted to do, as long as he was clothed, was fine by me. To him, the most important things were convenience and practicality, not flash. When you have money, you can afford to be modest about your accomplishments and expertise. You don't need to flaunt your wealth because you already know you have it and can prove it through your successful business. People with a lot of money tend to think differently because their priorities shift. Instead of debating whether or not you've worn a certain outfit this week, you'd rather devote your time and energy to developing yourself and your business. A wise person once said, and it has stuck with me ever since, the rich stay rich by living below their means. In the end, if you model your behavior after that of the truly wealthy and famous, you too will become a multimillionaire. The practice of spending lavishly to demonstrate one's financial success is not sustainable. It's possible that these are outdated beliefs, but if the wealthy are succeeding with them, then so can you. You might as well try it because what have you got to lose? Not in the least bit monetary. It's normal to have many questions about your personal finance. Can you name some things that you shouldn't charge? What is the ideal balance for a person's checking and savings accounts? How soon are you prepared to begin investing? However, one's financial situation is unique to them, so there may not be a simple solution to their questions. One person's magic bullet may not work for another. Sometimes it seems like only the very wealthy can make certain kinds of financial moves. Still, there is a great deal we can glean from the practices of the financially successful and put to use in our own lives. 5 ways in which rich people spend their money. Let's take a look at 5 money habits of millionaires that anyone can apply to their own finances. 1. They don't overspend. It is simpler to control your spending habits when you have more money to work with. It's important to remember that even multimillionaires practice extreme frugality. Customers like this may appreciate a few luxuries in life, but they're not known to go overboard with their purchases. They may opt for economy plus instead of first class on an airline, shop around for the best price on a hotel, buy a used car instead of a new one, and use their current cell phone as long as possible, rather than buying a new one every time a new model comes out. 2. They utilize rewards credit cards. Millionaires often use credit cards with reward programs. Most of their regular expenses will be charged to a rewards credit card. In turn, they deduct the value of these incentives from the total price of their trips or hobbies. They are careful to avoid interest and fees by paying off their credit card balance in full each month. Millionaires who use credit cards for most of their monthly spending have a deep understanding of what it actually costs them to maintain their standard of living. Then, they'll have a much better idea of how much money they'll need to retire and how to save for it. 3. They pay themselves first. Reverse budgeting, or the practice of paying yourself first, involves creating a spending plan that is driven by your savings objectives rather than your regular income and outgoings. Doing so will set aside the money each month for your future self. The wealthy routinely put aside a portion of their income, either through payroll deductions or automatic bank transfers. This is money that people save and invest for the future, rather than spending on necessities right now in places like 401ks, IRAs, or other speculative vehicles. Since they have already taken care of their long-term and emergency savings needs, these multimillionaires can spend freely from what is left over. They try their best to keep all savings plans active and to contribute more money to them each year, and they live within their net cash flow means. They don't take money out of these accounts for anything else. 4. They keep an emergency fund at all times. Simply put, an emergency fund is a stash of cash set aside for use in the event of immediate financial hardship. Experts recommend having at least 3 months' worth of expenses set aside in case of an emergency. One's level of financial security and discretionary income determine how much of one's income should be set aside in savings. It's not just about how much you save, but also where you put that money. Money set aside for emergencies should be kept in a savings account that is easy to access and not vulnerable to fluctuations in the stock market, but should also consistently earn the highest return possible. These emergency funds can be difficult to earn a fair return on in conventional savings accounts, given the current low interest rate environment. Millionaires therefore employ a more fruitful tiered strategy when deciding where to invest their money. Initial level or tier 1, a basic money market or high yield savings account. To a lesser extent, in the second tier, in an exchange-traded fund or ETF portfolio of short-term maturity securities, values may go up and down, but the short-term maturity and higher yield will make up for the risk. In buffered ETFs, the third tier of investment safety. Since it is highly unlikely that millionaires will need their savings quickly, they invest in buffered investments, which track market indices like the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, and offer some protection against losses. 5. They are strategic about carrying debt. The majority of rich people make an effort to avoid taking on debt for large ticket items like automobiles and boats whenever possible. This helps them escape the burden of paying interest for a number of years on an asset that soon loses value. On the other hand, they can have a mortgage on their principal residence. This is especially true in the current economy, which features historically low interest rates. The majority of these individuals speed up their mortgage payments in order to pay off their loans years ahead of schedule, and, as a result, lower the total amount of interest that they are required to pay. Millionaires undoubtedly come to the table with significantly more resources and income available to them than the typical American does. When you're not dependent on each salary for your survival, saving money is much simple. Having said that, the next 5 practices regarding one's financial situation are uncomplicated and can serve as helpful instructions for everyone to adhere to. Regardless of where you are in your own personal financial path, developing responsible money habits at an early age can be helpful as you figure out how you want to spend, save, and invest your cash in the future. So, what are your thoughts about millionaires appearing broke? What do you think is the logic behind it? Share with us in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with your friends so we can keep making videos like this. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.